And now,
And we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the World of Gray podcast. In a society divided by black and white arguments, we are here to explore
the world of gray.
I am Kelowna's Cougar Meat Kid, Colin Cutler.
I am the Flow, Mike Chisholm. It is a pleasure to see you this morning on this fine Sunday morning in the Okanagan.
I've had a lot of coffee today.
Outstanding.
You know when you put coffee in your old coffee just to heat it back up?
I don't, but I understand the...
You've never been to a restaurant where they top up your coffee just to warm it up?
Oh, I've seen that. Okay, would you like a warm-up? I've seen people do that.
Yeah, warm up.
Well, I don't drink coffee, right?
Oh, right.
Right.
I did that all morning.
Oh, it was warm it up Colin all morning?
I don't even know what...
So how long has this single cup been going since? Like right now we're like 11:10. How long is this? Since 8:30.
I got up at 8:30.
Cup has just been warmed up since then.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen,
would that be a pot of coffee?
It was almost a full pot of coffee. Yeah.
Nice job. Nice job. Poker's going to be great today.
Yeah. I'm going to waste all my money.
I wonder if he's got a good hand.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Today we are discussing reality. What is the meaning of life? What is reality? All this stuff around us, what does it mean? Is it an illusion? Is it real? Let us know what you think in the comments here. We got Facebook going. We got a solid half dozen people. Michael has joined us.
Yo, Mike.
So we got a lot of people joining us.
Amazing name. One
here
who's
today.
Like God.
Every week we have more and more people joining us on the live cast, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, yes, this is fun.
Yes, and we really want to start pushing the YouTube. Yes, please go like, subscribe. Tell your friends who can't come watch this live. They can watch it afterwards while you're driving, while you're working out, while you're just meditating at home. You can join some of these topics that we get to. We get into everything in the world of gray. We are not a specific political podcast or whatever. We're not narrowed in. We do everything. We're a whole world of gray.
Let me break it down for you like this. I'm an iPhone guy. He's an Android guy. And we get along just fine.
It's true. I had to go back to my old iPhone and I hate it.
Oh, you have an iPhone now?
Yeah, because I lost my brand new Android. Fell off the roof of Jen's car and then someone stole it. Anyways, not the point. Today we are talking about reality.
You Find My Android?
Yeah, it pinged to some dude's house and I sent the cops there.
And how'd that work out?
Well, he was like, I wasn't home all day. He's like, I feel terrible. He lost his phone. So you can come search my house if you want. I probably pinged. Somebody probably stole it, walked past his house. And then when I pinged it, it just went to the...
And by that time was when they did the boop, 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 boop.
Well,
offline pirate phone now.
Well, I ended up just wiping it. Yeah, you can remote wipe it.
That's good. So my text messages won't be seen by anybody.
Yeah, or those pictures you sent me. So Mike Chisholm, when you think, say you're indulging in some of the newly legalized substances in Canada, and maybe you've eaten one too many gummies and you're looking up at the sky. And
one of those days.
You know, one of those days, and you start having that existential crisis. What does it all mean?
I've had existential crisis much longer than I started indulging in the green stuff at 38. I'm 43 now. I've had existential crises well before that. And staring up at the sky, I want to tell you this, like The Matrix, I think, did it for a lot of people. I think when the movie The Matrix came out, because I mean now, like, nobody really talked about simulation theory and things like that. But The Matrix comes out, and a few years later, that idea kind of bakes itself into the culture. And then you get the young people, you know, who saw The Matrix as in their formative years, like I saw Star Wars.
Yeah.
And then now they're growing up and they're like, hey, yeah, I think we all are in a big old machine or a big old computer. I think different ideas pop up and give you ideas that reality might not be everything it seems in coming through our eye holes. I had an example of this I think it was 2008. Remember the Super Collider?
Jonathan has joined us.
Oh my God. Jonathan Cathcart would be able to talk about.
John,
I love him.
I would love
with my heart. I love him so much.
Me too. I'm a huge fan of John. He's much smarter than me, and I am not ashamed to admit that. John, I'm interested to see what
reality
you would like to comment on. What is reality? What's the point of all this? But
Jonathan's like, nothing is real.
Yeah, nothing is real.
John, period. Yeah. That's it. Nothing.
Very
it's all perception. Everything's perception.
But do you know? First of all, they're talking about making another Matrix movie.
Yeah,
right?
I'm hoping it's the prequel. Like, I'm hoping it's the once there was one who everyone thought was the one, and then it turned out he was like.
Nah.
It'd be cool if it was back then, or the young Morpheus. I like that story as well. I don't like a reboot of Neo.
I don't think they're gonna do.
I hope they don't do that. So the Super Collider. Do you remember the whole hubbub of the Super Collider?
Oh yes.
Okay, so I'm listening to a Joe Rogan.
There's a lot of theories that
Yes.
collide together.
Yes.
That's what I did there.
Yes.
About the super collider. But go ahead.
Yeah. So no, this week. So the Haldrogen Super Collider, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
in
not
Europe,
right, but
and
it's in Sweden.
Sweden. And so I was
Hydron. The Hydron Super Collider. Hydron
yes,
Super Collider.
That's how researched we are at the World of Gray. Anyway, so this next anecdote that I'm about to say is an anecdote based on an anecdote that I heard on a podcast. So we're playing a game of telephone here through podcasts. I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast. Everlast, who was the frontman for House of Pain and then has become a fantastic guitar rapper, singer in his own right outside of House of Pain, was on Joe Rogan, and they were talking about, he said he got taken down this wormhole, his YouTube
rabbit hole,
where it was this kid, this genius kid, and he's talking about how when the Super Collider in 2008 pounded two molecules together, it actually exploded a thing, and there was this epic event that happened, and it actually took our universe and put us into a parallel universe.
Mm-hmm. It collapsed one universe.
It collapsed a universe.
Yeah.
And now since then, we've all been spinning in a different trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about this and talking about how, man, it's like with flat Earth, right? It's like when you watch a YouTube video on flat Earth, you can actually watch that and go, oh, I wonder if, and then you slap yourself in the face and you're like, oh, wait, no. Okay.
Creepy music.
No conspiracy of that scale could ever possibly happen. But at the end of the day, that's what this video does. And it made me question reality for about half an hour as I was driving into town, thinking about that, going, man, I wonder if because I'm thinking about what happened to me in 2008, and my life changed big time in 2008, like big time. Not just because of professionally with the financial markets collapsing, just as I was starting to build my financial practice, but I went through a breakup from a girl that I was with in high school. We parted ways, sold the house that I had built up in Black Mountain, Christian Mountain State, like custom, this big, beautiful custom house. My whole life just changed that year. And I thought going, oh. And I started thinking about other people's lives changed in 2008 and going, man, I wonder if this is true. And it was just talking about reality. And then they got into this, like, every time you close your eyes and open your eyes, how do you know that the memories that you have and all these things that you have weren't just made up at that moment? Yeah. You don't know that. Even though we have like 31 World of Gray podcasts in the can.
Yeah, we've done 30. We've talked at each other's faces for over 31 hours.
I know, that's great.
That's over a day.
Oh yeah, and that's only on camera. Bless you twice.
Oh, for sure.
That's only on camera.
That's what people don't realize.
But have we really, or did it just open up our eyes this morning and going? I know.
Sometimes when we're done here, we've sat in this room and chatted for another hour.
Yeah, we're like, oh, this could have been another podcast.
So there's a lot to unfold with that video you're talking about. I've actually seen exactly what you're talking about in this kid. So he actually was one of the provocateurs, I guess you want to say, of the Mandela effect. So when the Mandela effect was in full swing, this kid had some videos. So he's supposed to be some genius kid when it comes to physics. So a couple things. He was talking about how when the Super Collider, when they were trying to find the Higgs boson particle, which is supposed to be like
the God particle
that makes up all of reality. That's why they smash these particles together, which, by the way, there is a documentary about this. And when they did this experiment, it actually didn't really prove much.
No.
They think they found the Higgs boson particle. Kevin Jacobs has joined us, but they were trying to answer, is reality random or is it preconceived, pre-decided or whatever, right? And they really, by the end of it, they didn't really prove much at all.
No. Unless they, shattered a universe and sent our universe into another place.
So what this kid is talking about is when they did this and they smashed this, they created a black hole and they caved our current reality and universe, and then we have just been morphed into another parallel universe, right? So we're always going to be present in a reality. How that looks like, is your consciousness spread through all the multiverses and you're just collapsing into and making your consciousness stronger and whatever that means. But that's the theory, is that we just collapsed it. And then the Mandela effect is all these little anomalies like
that's the butterfly effect. Is it not?
Yeah,
the Mandela effect?
Kinda.
Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to derail you.
Yeah, I see what you're saying,
invoking
but
pop culture with Ashton Kutcher.
We're just gonna stay on this its own thing, right?
Okay.
Saying these realities collapsed in, and the Mandela effect, if you haven't heard it, is there's small anomalies, like people remembering Luke, I am your father, which is a line in Star Wars that never even happened, but there's like merchandise, and even the guy who played Darth Vader has like quoted it in movies, in interviews with Forrest Gump saying life is like a box of chocolate, which is actually his mom that said. So I mean, there's a lot of, this was one of the reasons they're theorizing for the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
However, not to burst your bubble, but I did a little bit of research into this kid that's supposed to be this genius physicist, and there's evidence that he's
an actor.
He's just an actor. And
that's amazing.
Yeah, and he's just completely bullshitting because a lot of things he's saying. So good. Yeah, a lot of things he's saying, like I couldn't tell you whether it's true or not, right?
So case solved. Reality is reality. We're all real. Everything is the way we think it is.
All right, let me derail that thought press.
Done.
So maybe what he's saying with the Hadron Collider needs a little bit more research. However, one theory that is explored by physicists is a theory by Nikolai Ballstrom, who's a physicist. I want to say Russian, but I think that's wrong.
Can't spell Ballstrom without ball.
So he has a theory of computer simulation theory, and it's not called computer simulation theory, I don't believe. But his theory is that, and I think we've talked about this once before in this podcast, but it goes really well with this topic. Sure. You have to believe one of three future realities or current realities.
There's a presupposition to this.
Yeah. It's like a rule, right? So you have to believe one of three things, and that is that an intelligent species like ourselves, or a species more advanced than us at this current time, would get to a point of technology where they could create ancestral simulations, and they would create these simulations with actual conscious beings in them that not necessarily make their own choices, because that's free will and that's a whole other debate, but act on their own volition, right? Without anyone typing that specific code in. It'd be like an algorithm, right? You'd create it and it would just do itself. It'd be like AI, right?
Well, I think that the game phenomenon, The Sims, has proven that this is possible.
Right. So
because we with our monkey brains have done it.
So we're just going to call them conscious beings, right? So they would create an ancestral simulation with conscious beings, and to see how parts of history that we're not sure of would have played out, most likely, right?
Oh.
So either they get to the point that they create these ancestral simulations to do that, or they get to a point where they destroy themselves with that technology, right? We never quite get to the simulation technology because we get so advanced, we create a war, or we have some catastrophic event that happens before that, and we wipe ourselves out as a species.
Yeah, and restart.
Right.
Yes.
Or you can believe that we get to the point of advanced technology to create ancestral simulations, but because we're at that level, we can feed and house everybody, and nobody has to work, and it's kind of not necessarily utopia, but it's a different future where we don't feel the need to go back and figure out what happened in history, because we have everything we need and we're all happy and we figured it out, and there's no more politics and war and fighting or whatever, right? But if you believe the first, if you believe that we're going to create ancestral simulations, which if you look at humans and the curiosity of our species, we're already doing similar things.
Ways.
We're actually making simulations of the Big Bang in the universe. So this is actually something that's happening and existing.
Yeah.
And a lot of them is exactly what they were going for. A lot of them match the theories really well,
right?
Which you can argue we're creating the algorithm, so there might be some bias there. I don't even know how that works, so I'm not smart enough to even get into that. But if you believe that we get to a point where we create these ancestral simulations, you'd have to believe that we're going to create billions of them, right? Because we want to see all possible realities, and we want to pick through them, and we
kind of like Doctor Strange in Infinity War.
Yeah, exactly. Like
how do we beat Thanos?
Multiverse. Yeah, exactly like that.
One way out of 14 million.
Billions of them.
Sorry, Tony.
If you believe that we would do this and create billions of them, then mathematically it makes more sense that we are in one of those billions of simulations than in a base reality, which is just one.
Yes.
And then if you just assume that there's a starting point and then ancestral simulations of billions, that actually explains multiverse theory.
So shit's just playing out. Yeah, because of all the other simulations or all the other universes.
It's not a multiverse, it's a multi-simulation. And we're just one of the simulations. And when a simulation crashes itself, so the conscious beings destroy itself, however that works, our consciousness stream just melds into the next reality, right?
Right.
And honestly, like I'm not smart enough to 100% understand what I just said, but I've researched
sold. Done.
computer
You got me
simulation
sold.
theory quite a
Okay,
bit.
where do I sign up? Do I get a kit? What how does this oh, it's not a thing that I need to. Okay.
you that's the thing. You don't sign up. You're in it.
Make me clear. No.
I
I believe you. So how can I be clear now? How can I get clear and how can I that's
it's
something
Scientology.
Else. That's something
We're
else.
getting into-
That's something else.
The interesting thing about computer simulation theory, though, is it's not like, oh, Aaron has joined us.
Yo.
Aaron was just here.
Yo.
Kevin Jeffries has joined us. We're questioning reality.
The OG
here.
KJ.
OG KJ.
Yes.
So yeah, the crazy thing about computer simulation theory is that there's not only this Nikolai Bostrom theory. Elon Musk is talked about. He's actually
when he talks about stuff like that, I just go, oh man. Like when I hear Musk talk about AI, I'm just like, oh, because that's not some kid on a YouTube video trying to catfish me into thinking, okay, we've done something here, and he's just trying to get himself ahead. This is the freaking smartest guy on the planet.
Have you seen the side-by-side videos of Alex Jones and Elon Musk on Joe Rogan?
No.
So they're showing Elon Musk explain AI very logically.
Oh yeah.
And then they're showing Alex Jones talk about these energy vampires.
Yes.
And in a different way. But if you really listen to what they're saying, they're almost saying the same thing. Because Elon Musk is talking about AI that already exists in a dimension that's waiting for the singularity to come in and then take over. And Alex Jones is talking about these energy vampires that are in a different dimension that are just waiting to come up and take our energy and take us over.
Yeah, his is the alien side.
And, but what's the difference?
Wow, very good.
What's the difference between an alien and some conscious being waiting for a vessel?
Speaking of which, are you going to go see the new Terminator? Okay, does the Terminator?
I knew this topic was going to.
Does the Terminator have a life in your world? Like, was Terminator 2 a huge thing for you in your generation? Heath says the top up is shitty. By the way, you should restart. That's what he said. No, he didn't say that exactly. What he said was the top up is wrong. Start with a new cup is what he said.
No.
So
just throw it out. Who was that?
Yeah, Heath's story. Heath, good man.
I gotta watch.
Oh, Alex Draper, my cat's breath smells like cat food. Who said that? Do you remember my cat's breath smells like cat food?
No, I don't.
Ralph Wiggum from The Simpsons. Alex Draper, well done. Thank you very much.
My phone. This is.
I like my iPhone just fine. I was actually just talking with that Heath story about that. Oh, iPhone fine. Okay. I was just talking about him, talking to Heath the other day about that, how for the first time in a long time. So I got this phone 2 years ago, and I'm completely 100% still satisfied with it. There is nothing on the market that has got me wanting to get a new phone on top of this one. It's in 2 years. Like, think about that. That's a pretty good track record for a phone. In November, all the new iPhones come out. I'm just like, meh. I'll wait till next year. Maybe you got something, a bell or a whistle.
Movement.
Meh.
So, Mike Chisholm, is there anything that's ever happened in your life that's made you, for real, question your reality?
Oh, I question my reality every day.
Good. I
question my reality every day. I call out to the universe all the time for guidance. I am constantly realizing that I am but a speck in a dust bowl that has multiple locations. And I want to know more. But at the same time, I also am good at boiling things down and just saying, you know what, I'm just going to have the best day I can have today. I'm just going to try and make some people smile today and go from there. But I question my existence constantly.
What if God is just a kid sitting on a keyboard fucking with us?
Yeah, man. I go back to that Men in Black, the very end of Men in Black. The locker, but then the very end was the locker is like a universe inside of a pendant around someone's neck, and then the end of the movie basically shows our Earth, and it goes woof, and it keeps going, planet, solar system, universe, universe, and then that universe is inside of a marble that a couple aliens are playing with, and they're playing with marbles with each other, and they put it in a bag, and that's it. And it's like, holy, like, so the idea that it's a kid at a computer, it's like, hey kid, give us a bonus level, hey man, like if that's the, like I love playing Mario 3. I'm playing Super Mario Maker 2 right now for my Switch, and it's got a lot of Mario 1, Mario 3, Mario World levels that you can make. And Mario 3 is my favorite game of all time. So I'm playing that game right now. And when I play Mario 3, I always used to love when I would trigger the coin chip, because the coin chip is a ship that shows up on the map and you go to it and it's almost impossible to die. It's not quite impossible, but it's almost impossible. And it's full of thousands of coins. and you get a bunch of free men, and just go through it. It's like a bonus level, right? And it's so the kid at the computer, for God's sakes, give us all a bonus level,
bonus
please.
level.
You know, let's win one. Let's feed the entire planet. Let's figure out that, you know what, we're climate change is going to go to this 2-degree level, and then it's not going to stop, or it's going to stop, or something. Give us a bonus level of some sort.
What if the creator doesn't actually have control of the outcome?
And that is shitty.
So this is the thing is
it does lead to the fact that we do create our own reality if that's the case, and we are in control of our destiny. If that creator doesn't have control over it, it means that we have control.
What if we don't? What if it's in a world of gray? What if all you can do is create the initial algorithms and then it has to play out? Because if you think about it, if it's an ancestral simulation that they just want to see what happens in certain aspects, right? Like, what were to happen if this happened? What were to happen if Trump was president? And they can only have little tiny anomalies within them, and then the rest just plays out. This isn't why, but I am not a huge believer in free will.
Yeah,
I'm really not. And it's not that you can't change my mind, because I honestly always say I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? But a lot of people that I listen to and respect, like Robert Sapolsky is a big one for this one. And then Sam Harris also talks about this. But with Sam Harris, there's some things he says and I'm like, but Robert Sapolsky, I listen to and believe religiously. And that was probably not the right word for what we're talking about here. But I really don't
send him a weekly
believe that much in free will, but I really am interested in computer simulation theory. So if you factor in maybe just some algorithm, like formulas were plunked in, and then things just play out. Because I've talked about this all the time. Like sometimes when I'm just going to the store, I'm like, how much of this am I even choosing to do?
Yeah.
Like it's just this bunch of series of events, and now I'm hungry and I have no food, so I have to go to the store. That's like a simplistic version.
No,
but sometimes you're just going.
Absolutely. And I think that part of that is autopilot. Like in the morning when I get up and I go have a shower, I can't right now completely remember every
Edward has joined us.
I can't remember every element of the shower this morning because I did some of that on autopilot, but I know I did shower.
Yeah.
You know, I don't remember, okay, which body wash, okay, what was the order? Was it shampoo, body wash? I don't remember the entire thing, but it did happen. So I think that part of that is that we do live part of our lives on autopilot where we're just going. Now, does that mean reality isn't real, or does that just mean our brains are advanced enough that we can kind of do things in the background and check out, and our brains can think about the things while that's happening? I don't know. What I do know is when I've heard there's a similarity here to oh my God, who's our favorite physicist in the world?
Oh, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Thank you. Man, I can't believe I lost that. Neil deGrasse Tyson was explaining one day about infinity, and he was saying, okay, well, you know, I believe in infinity. Oh, do you? Do you really? Because here's what infinity is like. Infinity is so big, and infinite is such a concept that there is another universe happening right now where you and I are talking, but we're in different chairs. Never mind, you and I are talking.
Yeah, that's YouTube. If you go to the YouTube, we're actually on other sides.
That's true. And YouTube on one side, Facebook on the other. Okay, there's another universe where we're talking right now, and we have our noses on our foreheads. There's another one where, and just think about every little, okay, to the point where there's another universe where we're talking and one hair is over here compared to over there. Like infinite. Do you really believe in the concept of infinity, or can you really grasp it? No, not really. Like it's so big and there's so much of it. And then here's the other part. It's constantly expanding. What? How is that even possible that it's expanding when it's, okay, so that's where my brain breaks. I also feel like I wish In-N-Out Burger was in Canada because I would go get one now.
I feel like we've lost people because this is too much of an existential crisis conversation. I think we've lost people
because it's a beautiful Sunday and it's one of the last beautiful Sundays of summer. Woo! That's what I think is happening. Long weekend next weekend. Like, I mean, God, Labor Day, summer for me, this has been one of the best summers in years. I don't know about you. Have you feel the same way?
No, for weather, but I sacrificed my summer for a work project that never happened. But I will say, guess who's got two thumbs, one that's not holding a microphone and has holidays in a week? This guy.
That guy.
So I got 2 weeks off. I'm going to some places. So are you
looking forward to that?
Yeah, I am really.
I'm a big believer that whether you believe in reality or not, one of the things, the secrets in life is to, and I've heard this in multiple places. When I was 19, I explained this concept to my friend Bud, who works at Costco. I saw this last week, which delighted me. I was stalking. I was like, just this kid didn't know anything, and I still don't know anything. And I was walking by Bud, and I was talking about how I'm going to the Kings game in November. This is like the end of summer. And he's like, whoa, really? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be thinking about this for the next forever. Like you always have something to look forward. If you have something to look forward to, then you're always going to be excited and happy, and you're always going to be, you're always going to have something to hold on to, even when the shit hits the fan. You always have something. So right now, how much are you looking forward to your holidays?
First of all, I just want to say great segue, because that kind of goes to the second half of our topic here. What's the point of all of it? I am looking forward to my holidays. I do this weird thing in holidays. They're like 2 days in. I'm like, I've only got so many days left. And I just think about that until
I
my
know.
holidays are up, which is the worst.
You got to destroy that.
So here's the thing with, and I mean, you can tie it in with computer simulation theory or not, but like, what's the point? What's the point? Right? And I think the point is what, for me, and I've had this thought process a lot. Like I'm talking since I was 14.
Have you had this thought process very much? A lot. You've had it a lot.
Oh, I don't know if you weren't at the Summerland show. Summerland show?
No.
I didn't have a shirt on. Like I'm actually in probably the worst shape I've been in, but I'm not in terrible shape. Anyways, but I'm not in like the best shape. And we were wrestling. Jay Darcy was in amazing shape. It was me and Danny, who's also not in great shape.
185 pounds. Like really just
right?
Like
I know, just shredded.
And shredded. 185 pounds, Jay Darcy.
I had no shirt. Like I'd done the Cougar thing. I took my shirt off, and then some girl in the crowd's like, put your shirt on, just to be a dick, right? And then I'm like, ignore it the first time. And then I hear she goes, both of you put your shirts back on. And I was like kind of in the ring, kind of like on my hands and knees. I looked right in the eye and I was like, if me not wearing a shirt bothers you, it's about to get a lot worse. And everyone laughs, and I don't break eye contact. I just keep staring at her. And then when everyone settles, I go, a lot worse. And it did.
It killed?
Yeah, no, it was good. I was on point for like crowd reaction shit, because I cut that promo on the fly, and like, whew, I was on fire then. I don't say that about myself very often, but I was on fucking fire.
For those who have never seen Colin Cutler perform, come and see us on Friday, September 13th at Rutland Centennial Hall. Al Snow's going to be there. Big Brother Canada winner Dane Rupert's going to be there.
Why is Dane on this show?
I don't know, man.
Dane, I like you,
gotta buy a ticket
you're
to find out.
invading my territory.
You got to buy a ticket to find out.
Stay out of my way, kid.
So pro wrestling at Rutland Centennial Hall, family all ages show.
I'm getting upset.
Reach out to us. Well, I'm not upset because I get to watch the whole thing, and I'm pretty excited about it.
You know,
Big West Wrestling, in conjunction with their friends at Invasion Championship Wrestling, putting on Al
Snow.
Why?
Like I do one interview with him, and now he's like, "Oh, now I'm going to be a wrestler and get on your freaking show."
Yeah, well, let's
steal
find out.
your
We may be doing
spotlight.
some radio stuff.
You won $100,000. Stay home.
Yeah, he's not staying home. He's going to be there that night. Dane Rupert. Wouldn't it be crazy if he had like a posse with him from Big Brother or something like that?
Yeah, he better have a posse.
Reality
with him.
stars versus
more
marginal regional wrestling stars.
That's my reality. I got Big Brother people invading my territory.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother. I was being all nice to him on the podcast.
Yeah.
Dane, you better watch it. Stay out of my way. Pretty much, if you just stay out of my way.
So what's the point, Colin?
Yeah, what's the point of Dane being here? That's what I'm saying. What's the point of you being on the show? Like, you're just invading now.
Let's go back to what we're looking forward to. Are you looking forward to Friday the 13th?
I'm looking forward to Friday the 13th. And that's the thing. So, I mean, whatever created reality, or whether it's random, like when you say we could rabbit hole all the way down, so there is no point.
No.
You can create that reality. So to your point, yes, you can technically create reality by having the thought process of like, really at the end of the day, we're born, we eat, sleep, poop, repeat, and die.
Yeah.
Okay, that's morbid.
Occasionally
that's not fun.
Too.
Very occasionally in my case. No, I'm just kidding. That was too far. Okay. I'm going to get in trouble just by making that joke. A
lot of trouble.
A lot
of trouble. What are you looking forward to right now? So okay, let's go back. So audience, think to yourself today, whether it's right now or whether it is later on, whatever, write down something that you're looking forward to. Like that's going to happen in the next few months, whatever it is. And I mean, and think about why you're looking forward to it. Like I've got probably 4, maybe 5 things if the trip to New York happens. I have like 4 or 5 things that I'm really looking forward to between now and Christmas. And to me, having those things makes life, whether it's real or not, whether it's a simulation or not, makes things for me more satisfying. It makes just life that much better.
Well, and let's put it this way. If we are a computer simulation and we're conscious beings, we're not like Matrix attached to anything. We're just a conscious being in a computer, in a simulation. What's the difference?
Yeah. Or a fishbowl. Imagine if it's a big fishbowl.
But literally, what's the difference? Even if you knew it for a fact.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I still want to eat. still want to, sleep. I still
Yeah.
want the things that I'm looking forward to.
Well, and it's
Regardless,
still,
they're there,
it's
so
still
I might
the
as well take
same.
advantage
It's
of
the
it.
same reality, whether
Yeah.
it's because a computer created it, because it's random, because or if it's because we're a sun booger that was cooled and
Yeah.
sucked into an orbit. Like, it's all the same shit.
Yeah.
So don't jump in front of a
And
fucking
we don't know
train.
what'll happen afterwards. So
Yeah.
So it
Ooh.
could be.
The trippy thing about computer simulation theory, though, is you think about it, there's a point where we may either one comes first or the other, find out we actually are in a computer simulation,
Yes.
try to get out of it, but we don't know how, whatever.
Yeah.
At the same time, or before or after, create a computer simulation theory that creates conscious beings, with those conscious beings realizing that they're in a computer simulation, and those
Now you're in
conscious
an
beings
infinite loop.
will create a computer simulation themselves. Russian
loop.
doll syndrome.
Yeah.
I use that Russian doll metaphor a lot, but I think it works.
It does. I like the Russian
Yeah.
doll. Like I like when you say Russian doll. I like thinking about the Russian dolls because I always liked them, even as a kid or whatever. I'd see them and they just fascinated
What's
me.
Hardy doing?
And what I like to do, Hardy is working.
Camera's over here, dude. He just like has his hands up on the he's like sniffing the wall. What are you doing? We have mold. I
snuffing
guarantee we
paint.
have mold. He's always sniffing walls. I'm always
Yeah.
scared that we have. Or he's like, this isn't real. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, see,
It's not real. Hardy knows.
I hope
Hardy
you're
knows
real,
it's not
Hardy.
real.
I hope you're real. Yeah. Oh, those eyes.
But that's the thing. I like where you're going, though. We have to have stuff to look forward to, because
Yeah.
we need to just we're already living here, and to get stuck in the mindset of, oh well, nothing's real, so what's the point?
No,
Like,
and that's where gratefulness comes in, because I mean, whether or not we're in a simulation or whatever, I'm grateful for the air that I breathe. I'm grateful for that I have the opportunity to do some of the things that I get to do. I'm grateful for the things that I'm looking forward to. I really to me, that's one of the things that people always ask me why I have such a positive outlook and all that. I'm always looking forward to something. I'm always, and when I have a handful of things like I do right now, it's like, oh man, life is really good. Like, I'm looking forward to today, the straddling of two amazing things, hanging out with my granddaughter and playing poker with my friends, like,
Woo!
and then having dinner with the kids at night, playing with the granddaughter again. Like, I'm looking so forward to these things.
So give me 3 other things in the future that you're looking forward to.
I'm going to hang out with Jay and Silent Bob.
What?
Yeah, I'm going to hang out with Jay and
Like, actually Jay and Silent Bob?
yes,
What?
in December, on December 2nd.
Kevin, what's his name? Kevin
Smith.
Kevin Smith?
Yeah.
You're going to hang out with Kevin Smith?
For at least 5 or 10 minutes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's Jay's name again? Because he was in
Jason Mewes.
Yeah, he was in Zach and Mary Make a Porno.
Sure was.
And he was so good in that movie.
So good.
So
Yeah,
good.
he's awesome. Yeah.
Oh,
So that's something
hilarious.
I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to seeing Cowboy Cerrone fight in UFC, in
Right.
the UFC Fight Night in Vancouver. Yeah,
Nice.
that's on the 14th. And then, well, you know what? I'm just going to say the 13th, hanging out with Al Snow and Dane
Woo!
Rupert and Colin Cutler. Because after the show, as long as you and Dane are okay, we're going to go to Wings afterwards, and we're going to hang out that night on the 13th.
I just don't understand. Like,
and
I
it's going to
already
be a
have
fun, like, hanging out with Al Snow and Colin Cutler and Dane Rupert at a restaurant. No, seriously, like that is a, I know, just imagine you can put your personal differences aside. Imagine you kick
it's not
imagine
personal.
that you kick his ass.
It's not personal.
And then he is back
It's
in place. And it's like,
professional.
I'm sorry, Mr. Cutler. I'm sorry. Let's go. Can I please go and buy you a beer? So that's what we're going to be doing after the
so you
show.
got $100,000. You can buy me a beer.
Damn right he can. And so after the show on Friday the 13th, I'm really looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that particular encounter. But I've got many other things. We're going to the Armstrong Fair with the granddaughter. It's the first time she'll have seen that. That's happening this week. I've got, from a business standpoint, I got a piece of business that's going to go in that's probably going to pay me $12,000, $13,000. So that's pretty cool. I've got, I've got lots of stuff to look forward to.
You and Dane can buy me a beer. Damn.
Yeah, I'll buy you a beer. Especially
Work
when
for a charity.
when that piece of business goes through, I'll
Work for a
definitely buy you a
charity.
beer. Yeah,
Can't
I know
afford
you do.
it.
I know you do. Buddy.
Got Gamecast.
But this thing that I'm doing used to be a side hustle for me. And now it's turned into this amazing thing, right? Like, get a side hustle, everybody. This is what we're doing here. This is a side hustle. You do something that you're passionate about, and guess what? It can turn into something that can be mind-blowing. This will one day for us turn mind-blowing.
Monetize your passion and get a Mike
Hashtag future
Chisholm.
plans.
If you're a Colin Cutler, get a Mike Chisholm.
Yeah.
Because I think it's really important to surround yourself with varying, not personality types, but temperament types, and people that
people that sharpen you. And you sharpen them, and it's an awesome symbiotic relationship.
And I think sometimes my cynicism is good for you, and I think sometimes your optimism is good for me, right? Because we balance each other out. We're yin and yang. We
are
with the glass on the table.
That's what I do.
So I mean, but what I like about you, other than just your annoying positivity at all time.
Right.
I don't want to say annoying. There's another word there for world of gray in the middle. I love your positivity, especially because sometimes your positivity brings down my cynicism when you're right. And I'm like, damn it, he's fucking right. And I can't be cynical because he's right.
Oh my gosh. By the way, in Kelowna, if you're in Kelowna, hold that thought. If you're in Kelowna, September 27th, I believe, there's a Level Up conference going on. Darren Hardy's going to be there in town in Kelowna. 2 former prime ministers are going to be speaking. There's going to be like, it's this crazy event that's happening. It's a couple $100 to get to it. Like, it's crazy that's happening. If you want a little bit more of this kind of outlook, positive personal development, gratitude at all times kind of a thing, Darren Hardy's your guy.
I think I'm going to get Jimmy Dore booked on a show, and we're going to do a cynicism conference where we're just going to talk about how shitty the world is.
See if he can bring me down.
We can, I'll get, like him, maybe. Who else could I get? Jimmy Dore would be a great one. Jimmy Dore made this joke about the Jeffrey Epstein thing before it happened. And he said, yeah, Hillary Clinton was on, because he was talking about Bill Clinton because he was on that plane so much, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, Hillary Clinton tweeted out, I'm really sorry to hear about Jeffrey Epstein's suicide next Tuesday. And then he showed up dead like a week later. And then Jimmy Dore went, damn it, now I can't use that bit while I'm on tour. He was just mad because he couldn't use the bit.
That's a great comic response. That is a great comic response right there.
I had a whole tour plan.
What that is he committed to that joke so hard that when an epic world event actually did happen, this guy did die. And committed suicide. And then has these conspiracy theories already already there. Continued the bit without breaking character, without anything. Oh damn! Now I can't.
And things like that, things like that make me question my reality, because you have all the crazy conspiracies where 9 out of 10 of the things that are out there that if you look them up, they're bullshit, right? Like you can find that they're certified bullshit sources.
Yeah.
And then the shit with Jeffrey Epstein happens that like solidifies things that were crackpot theories that were put on YouTube. But however, wherever the kernel of truth came from is becoming like a popcorn bowl of fact. And it's getting crazy. And like people and the crazy thing is that mainstream media, which is really supposed to delve into anything that's suspect, is like pushing all the shit so under the rug that it's almost solidifying the conspiracy side of it. They're not questioning 100%. The fact that Jeffrey Epstein was found dead less than 24 hours after 2000 previously sealed documents of powerful politicians were unsealed. He shot less than 24 hours. His cellmate was pulled out of there on the Friday and never put back. He's supposed to always have a cellmate.
So we're told. So we're told. We have no idea if any of this is actually true. Stephen King could have wrote that in a typewriter and thrown it out there for everybody. We don't know if any of this stuff is true. Like that's the part where I got a friend in my life and I love her. She's amazing. She many times contributes on here. And she thinks way out there on some things. Like she thinks way out there. Like this person thinks that Michelle Obama was a man. Okay. And
I've heard that.
Okay. I've heard people talk about that too. Right. And she'll line up all of this evidence that supports this stuff. Right. But none of us have ever seen any of this evidence. We're just talking about things that we're taking the word of others.
Well, however, I mean, yeah, you're right, but the facts that are being out as like official statements are weird, right? And that's what I'm saying is the official statements, if they're true,
so we're told,
are suspect.
Yes.
If they're not, even more suspect, right?
Yeah.
There's theories that Jeffrey Epstein was tied to the CIA.
Yeah.
So maybe he was just taken out by the CIA, or maybe he was extracted by the CIA because the CIA is theorized to have like mob ties from like that's how the CIA started is like affiliated with the mob, and it's how the mob got influence into government and politics. So it gets like really convoluted. But some of the official statements that are out is that there was 2 guards that are supposed to check on him every 30 minutes and they fell asleep for 3 hours and they faked the logbooks. So I mean, the shit like that makes me question my reality all the time. But that's the thing too is now
it's like that reporter that went in and then to the embassy over in which embassy was it? Was it the UAE embassy or whatever? And then those people all came in there with bone saws and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, you're talking about Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia, sorry.
Yeah, that was the U.S. citizen reporter who's is he Saudi by birth? Anyways, he went to the embassy and he just found it. And the Saudi government had video of him leaving, and they had like a double. He looked nothing like him. It's like they don't even care.
Yeah.
like those authoritarian totalitarian governments, because they're not thinking about tricking the US.
No.
They're just trying to trick their own people, right?
So here's my thing. If somebody's trying to trick somebody, like the whole thing could have been made up. The whole thing could have been made up. Like you don't know. Like nobody knows.
Turkish. She's Turkish.
Turkish.
Yes, obviously.
Yes.
Thank you, Carrie.
Turkish, like the bath and the delight.
Not appropriate.
I'm just saying.
For what we're talking.
Rugs, Turkish rugs. That's a thing, right?
That didn't make it better. But you know, and here's the other thing too. We talk about reality. So getting away from like computer simulation, the really out there things. I always say that we have multiple realities like around us right now.
Sure.
We, especially in this post-truth era that I always talk about, we have so many different truths out there that we are just building multiple realities. We have a bunch of bacteria and microscopic entities. Beautiful. Didn't make a sound. On our bodies. There's a whole
they're living
nother
their lives.
Reality
They
parallel universe
right there.
in just on a speck of your hand. Like there are
Born,
realities within realities
ate,
within realities.
Slept, occasionally fucked,
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
That's happened right there.
There's dead things on you right now.
And then they're alive again. Their ancestors are alive. Ancestors of their ancestors of their ancestors are alive since we started that sentence. Right there.
You did so good with that cup, and then you just punched the microphone.
Oh, with my mighty watch.
That's good.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah. So I mean, I go through
He's
these
got the cans on. I don't.
I got the cans on. I go through these existential crises quite a bit. I do also go through the like.
But then we play poker sometimes.
Oh yeah, isn't that funny too? Like I'm. It's not that I'm against capitalism. I question unfeathered capitalism that exists as it exists today. But I love poker.
Oh, I know.
And poker is literally capitalism on a table. Like you couldn't have a better metaphor for capitalism, right? Everyone starts at, not necessarily if it's a tournament, but like in a cash game, whoever has more money gets to start with more of an advantage.
Sure.
You're lying to each other.
Sure.
You're exchanging
That's
currency.
a great point. Whoever has more money, whoever the big stack is, has the advantage.
But doesn't
Just
mean
like in capitalism.
But doesn't mean they end up on top by the end of the game.
No, because they can squander.
Yeah, you can bend the rules, but there are rules,
Mhm.
right? You're allowed
You can
to
lie to each other.
everyone.
In fact, you're encouraged to lie to each other.
Transactions come through. Sometimes
what a great
mistakes
analogy.
happen. You know, like
Poker's
sometimes you have
such a
to.
great analogy for this
Yeah.
stuff. Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing, and I fucking love the
I'm a
game.
capitalist and I enjoy poker, so I guess I have the best of both worlds.
Horton here's a who. Yes, that's Carrie Lee for the win.
Elephant, Dr. Seuss.
Literally what we're talking about.
The substance of the story
How brilliant
relates.
is Dr. Seuss?
Oh, he's amazing.
Yeah, like,
I was on a Hollywood tour
nonsense.
a long time ago.
Nonsense.
I was down in LA. Oh, it was when the Kings went to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time. After we won our first Stanley Cup. Our second Stanley Cup was 2 years later. So, anyways, so I was down in LA in between games 2 and 3, or games 3 and 4. So they played game 3 on a whatever night. I had a free day, and then game 4 was on the next night, and then I flew home the next day. And so I went on one of those Hollywood tours because I'm like, well, what the hell? I'm down here in the heart of it all. I might as well go. And they toured around, and they got to this house, and you looked at this house, and the guy who was on the loudspeaker was like, okay, think about pop culture. I'm going to give you 3 guesses as to who you think this house is. And immediately somebody, a smart guy in the back said, that's Dr. Seuss's house. And it was exactly right. And you looked at this mansion, right? I don't know if it was in Bel Air or in, it was just this awesome mansion, right? But it was kind of an off pink. And you look at the windows and there were some sort of like these little squiggle things that were there. And you're looking and you're like, oh my God, this is a piece of Dr. Seuss architecture. Look at the goosebumps I got. This is a piece of Dr. Seuss architecture in the real world. And it looked like something out of his books and it was this beautifully well-crafted mansion in the middle of poshy posh California. And it was Dr. Seuss's house. And you're like, oh, that is fantastic.
There's probably a reality where everyone talks like Dr. Seuss, but then Dr. Seuss has books where he talks like we talk in this reality, and his house is normal, and everyone else's house is like his. And we're going by like, look at that house. Everything's straight and symmetrical and like only has a couple colors.
There's also a reality where you can see the music and only hear the TV.
That's amazing. The interesting thing, though,
I've been there. It was fun.
The interesting thing is we have all these different parallel universes, but pretty much in every parallel universe, there's a society divided by black and white arguments. But in this parallel universe, because we know this for sure, we are here to explore
the world of gray.
Thank you for joining us. Whether we're real or not, we still appreciate your views.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace. Love.
Love. Less than 45 minutes.
Later, yo.
Bam.
Bam.